This is a big thing that just happened a few weeks ago. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. So, with all these protests going on, with all these, with the Black Lives Matter movement, we're finally getting some sort of legislation. And the House passed the George Floyd Policing Act. And what that act entails is pretty much holding police officers accountable, making it limit qualified immunity, which means that police officers are qualified immunity. Police officers are kind of shielded from getting arrested or getting charged with crimes that they may have committed against people, like police brutality, stuff like that. So what they're doing is with this is they're going to limit qualified immunity. They're also going to issue more investigations in the police departments for stuff like discrimination, and they're also going to report more data and for incidents like George Floyd and Rashard Brooks, like police brutality, use of force incidents. So yeah, this is a big deal, honestly, because that's what we've been protesting.
Yeah, like what I said in the last episode, it's a fight worth fighting, and you see like some fruition of that.
Exactly, but the problem is that we don't know. Okay, so all right, the House passed it, but we're still waiting on the Senate to pass as well. And the leader of the Senate, he's kind of like taking his time on it. And I don't know if he's going to even bother trying to pass it until Trump is out of office. So we don't really know when it's going to be passed. It might not be passed until the next year.
The black bald guy with the white wife.
Nah, it's this guy by the name of Mitch McConnell. He's like the leader of the Senate, and he's kind of like taking his time on it and stuff. And a lot of people don't like him, and he's just taking his time on it, and he's not trying to pass it right now. I don't know why. And I was listening on the radio, bro, and there was like a hearing, in the House of Representatives, and this one Republican, he was like, why are you guys rushing it to pass it? Why can't we negotiate? And I'm like, negotiate what exactly? What are we negotiating here? Because seriously, we're trying to address police brutality. And if you want to negotiate something, I mean, we could always just pass another act, whatever you're trying to negotiate. So it just makes no sense. And people want to not pass the bill for what?
Or what? It's because they're racist, plain and simple.
Exactly.
You know why they could be waiting? They could be waiting for a new president to do it because, even if they do pass it, Trump could veto it.
Yeah, but as long as they get like 65%?
If it gets 65%, I think Trump and his power can still veto a law like that.
Yeah, he could try to veto it. He could try to veto it, but as long as they get 65% of the people, I think in the House and the Senate, hey, it's going to get passed no matter what. All they need is 65%.
Yeah. But I mean, it takes a long time for law to happen. I mean, it takes years and years for this to really take a hold, to take effect. So,
but it is an act, though. It's an act. It's between the act and the law and law.
For bills to be passed, it takes a long time. Like, it takes a while. It takes years. It takes months, even years, even.
That's true. But the thing about acts don't take as nearly as long as a law because I forgot exactly why, but just looking at the 1968 Bill of Rights Act, like that didn't take too long for it to pass. So I'm just saying.
It to pass?
I think it didn't. I know it didn't take too long. I think they passed it the same year, honestly, when it came up. The 1968 Bill of Rights Act.
If anything, like everything that's been going on, unless they're blind to it, should accelerate the process of these acts being passed.
Like just look at the past acts. Like I think it was it 1964? I forgot what act that was. And then 1965 Voting Rights Act. Like all these acts I believe they were passed in the same year, if I'm not mistaken. But at the end of the day, there should be no excuse. They should be getting this, done by now. There should be no reason why you should try to negotiate. Like, what are we negotiating? Like, you want
our freedom or
exactly
our rights?
They're gonna try to, bro. This is what they're gonna do. They're like, all right, we're gonna negotiate. They just want to take something away or put something in there that would try to, give us a disadvantage like they always have done in the past. So no, I don't want to negotiate. You crazy?
Talk about the Voting Rights Act for a second, like how they were taking bit by bit out, like every so often.
So
if you didn't
the
talk about that already.
The Voting Rights Act. So in the past, like 10, 15 years, they have been taking, sections out of the Voting Rights Act, the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And really, nobody has been really discussing it. I mean, CNN, they've discussed it then and there in the past, like 3-4 years. But like, I think there was this one section and that they took out. And if you look at the 2016 election, you look at all these people saying that it was hijacked and that there was a lot of that Trump cheated and all this other stuff. Well, that stems from them taking away Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act pretty much. I forgot what exactly was in it, but it just makes sure that there's no tampering or there's no foolishness going on in the voting. Like for instance, I forgot exactly what they do, but it's just some shadiness that they'll do to try to prevent people from voting. Like taking these tests, like they'll give people tests to take in order for them to be eligible to vote and stuff like that. So just little stuff like that they try to do in order for us to not be able to vote.
Wow. If you want that issue to stop being ignored, I would suggest bringing it to Twitter.
To be honest, so like 2016. I mean, 2016 was a the Germans hacked the election for 2016 in order to get Trump elected.
Yeah, Russia. So like for instance, Section 5, I believe in Section 5, what happened is that so for instance, they say, okay, you have to take this certain test. Well, for Section 5, what it did was they would look over the test that the people would, give the people like us who are trying to vote. They would look over it to make sure that it's legitimate and it doesn't I guess it doesn't just go against our rights and stuff like that. But since they taking it away, they don't have to worry about that no more. They can do what they ever might please, and that's how they got away with it in 2016. So that's what happened.
I would never say that, man. I mean, I'm really happy that the bill got passed. I mean, it's soon enough. I just hope people don't stop protesting.
Exactly, and
I just hope that people. I hope people don't stop protesting, and I hope that they actually I don't know.
I hope that people don't stop protesting, of course, but I also hope that they don't need to protest anymore eventually, if you get my
mean, that'll take a long time. I mean, I think there should be. I think people should start. I don't even think. I think for African Americans, we should just start finding ways to really build like our economics up as a community. I think at the end of the day, that's what we need to work on.
We don't celebrate July 4th. We celebrate Juneteenth.
Facts. Yeah. See, that's where everybody dropped the ball because there were no.
But Danny, you was grilling July 4th, bro.
I was grilling because I was.
You was grilling July 4th. Hey. What are you talking about? Hey.
I know you wanted.
Hey,
don't July 4th. I know you wanted to sled.
Oh, you was eating glizzies on July 4th. What are you talking about?
Wasn't. There were half.
You was eating glizzies. You was dressing up your glizzies July 4th, bro.
Glizzy, hey, that term glizzy is kind of outdated now because everybody.
I mean, no, not outdated, just ruined.
It's ruined now
because somebody in California using it. But still,
should stop using it for the rest of the year until it dies down, and then when it's safe to use it back again.
Nah.
Use it, June of next year.
And you are kind of right. Once I saw somebody in California using it, it's like wow, for real.
They using our slang.
I mean,
I
it's
was like
always
California of all places. I'm cool with New York, but California.
Yeah, New York. I'm cool with people from New York, but California, nah. Y'all need to stay over there. Use your own slang. Y'all don't even have your own slang, but stay over there.
more importantly, it's not even the fact that it's people from California. It's the fact that it's
white. Facts.
Yo, did you see that video of like these white kids trying to chop? They was trying to beat their feet.
No, don't.
It was like a video. It was like a whole
God.
class towards them just beating their feet.
Bro, I'm gonna cry. They gotta at least be from Virginia if they're gonna do that.
Listen, man.
Virginia, dang.
DMV slang is you can't steal DMV slang because we're gonna hold you accountable. Like we say ja we say glizzy, we say mo. I forgot the other slang that we say.
It's highly distinguishable if you're using DMV lingo that's different from the regular lingo we use. We're going to hold you accountable, and we might.
And that's not Baltimore slang either. That's DMV. That means Prince George's County, DC, and I don't even know about Virginia. I'm gonna be honest. Virginia.
Aren't you from Virginia, bro?
No, I'm not. I lived there for like 2 years. That does not mean I'm from Virginia. I lived there for 2 years, bro. And they do not use, I don't recall them using any of those type of slangs, honestly.
Hey, that's a tough scene.
You were there doing recon for the DMV to make sure that they don't use that lingo. That's all it was.
It's really just DC and like PG County and maybe some parts of Montgomery County. But Baltimore, no. You are not a part of this. I'm sorry. And I'm not hating on Baltimore people. I love my Baltimore people, but
Baltimore's his own state.
Exactly. Yeah. Y'all are different from us. I'm sorry.
Maryland doesn't even claim Baltimore, bro. Maryland don't claim Baltimore, bro. You either from PG or you from Baltimore or you from Maryland.
Or you could just be like, or you could just, be more specific. PG County, Montgomery County, and Baltimore.
I ain't never heard anybody claim Montgomery County, bro.
Never.
In all my years of living, I ain't
I'm
never
from Montgomery County.
I ain't never. You all from? Are you from Montgomery County?
Hell no, I'm not from Montgomery County.
Oh, we were about to bar you. We were about to.
I was about to say.
Is it Montgomery County and Waldorf?
No, that's Charles County.
Oh, that's Charles County. See, I don't know my counties like that.
You said that too confident.
Hey, the only county you need to know is PG. Period.
Exactly. That's too confident. We have the best carryout.
And we're the richest black county in America.
Bro, that's really difficult to see.
But we don't have but in my neighborhood, we don't have a good giant. Like, that's crazy. How are we the richest county? Fort Washington is the richest.
I don't need to know that. Don't tell them that much. Just
no. See, that's the problem. See, that's the problem. We need to put equity. They need to put equity in these black communities, especially Fort Washington, because if we're one of the richest cities in Maryland, there should be no reason why we shouldn't have the best of the best, like Virginia does.
I thought they were rebuilding Giant though. Like,
I don't even know what they're doing.
Rebuilding
I don't even know. It might take 10, 15 years before they rebuild it.
To be honest, it just sounds like you're just ignorant as someone living in PG. It just sounds like you don't know your own community.
Bro, you live.
You pulled the sheet back too far.
Same community as me, and you know how the shopping centers, you know how the area is. Like, there's nothing around. All we have is like Domino's, KFC, McDonald's, Taco Bell.
Everything.
Like,
we're getting a Chipotle. We're getting a tropical smoothie.
When
have we ever got a Panda Express?
What are you talking about? We got the whole Panda Express.
Usually, you got to go all the way out Charles County to get
exactly.
Right here.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about, Aaron, man.
So, like, I'm not talking about Oxon Hill, because Oxon Hill, they kind of renovating a little bit. I'm talking about in our specific neighborhood in Fort Washington.
I live in a bubble.
Oxon Hill,
Fort Washington and Oxon Hill, though.
Oxon Hill is first. Fort Washington is next. Right now, they're improving roads and everything. Soon enough, when they're done with Oxon Hill, then they're going to start improving Fort Washington.
Yeah, no more.
I guess we'll see what happens with that. I'm just waiting for it because I know one thing. We need to improve our communities because You go across the bridge to Virginia, they got everything.
Because they're white.
Exactly.
Wait,
and that's
what?
the problem.
I don't even know what you do. You just did this. You just said because they're.
Aaron heard me.
I heard you loud and clear. People watching the video are gonna hear you loud and clear. Promise you that.
Promise
you that. But
I mean, my man did a whole hand gesture talking about some Aaron heard me. That's tough.
But at the end of the day, when it comes to politics, when it comes to legislation, this is what I'm talking about here. This is what needs to happen. They need to put their money in these black communities. They need to put their money into education for black people. I don't want to hear, minorities. No, black people. Black people. Because we have been the last in the line for the longest time. And I just rhymed right there.
And he ain't lying.
Ooh, you see what I mean? See, we rapping right now. But anywho, we've been the last in the line, my guy. So it's time for us to be first in line for once.
Talk that talk.
You know what I mean? Like I'm tired of getting the worst food possible. I want the best food. I want to eat like
okay. You try to expose us. We already got good food.
I want to eat. I want our grocery stores. I want our grocery stores to have the best food possible. I don't want that expiration food. I don't want my vegetables oil.
That doesn't have an expiration.
I don't want my vegetables to be all bad when I go in there. I want them to be fresh every day.
What grocery store you be stopped? You can just go to the Safeway down the street.
Giant. I'm talking about the old Giant. Every time I go to the store, the vegetables are bad. Like I'm like, come on, man.
To be honest, I think that's man. I feel like that's your fault as a consumer for not checking.
Come on, man.
And what sense? Wait, time out.
That's why I stopped going to the Giant.
Oh boy.
Well,
and the Safeway too.
Does the consumer not get responsibility for not checking the expiration date?
No, I'm just saying when you no. I'm talking about the vegetables that are out in the open and stuff like that. Like you'll see like
all of the vegetables are out in the
lettuce, the lettuce and the broccoli.
And
broccoli. When you walk into the Giant, when you walk into the old Giant, the first thing you see on the right side, you'll see vegetables on your right side. Those are the vegetables I'm talking about, and they're always
giving the blueprint of Giant, dog.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
You just hate Giant at this point. You don't. I feel like you don't. I feel like. I don't think this is a community issue. I feel like you just hate Giant.
No. I'm not the only person that
just goes the Safeway. It's that easy.
That are
That's what I'm saying.
It's that easy. Just don't go to Giant.
You live like
just
one
don't
time
go to Giant. But they don't even make Giants anymore.
And even Safeway. I be going to Safeway and I be like, yo, what's up with these vegetables? Like, what's up with the lettuce? Like the lettuce is all yellow and stuff, and the herbs are all yellow.
I'm not eating at your house, dog.
Where you be going to, dog?
I be going to the Safeway.
Which one?
Not too far.
Like, you're not going to the right place.
Not too far.
He not going to the he going to Charles County, bro.
I'm just saying, like, the only time I see like good vegetables at Safeway is like maybe Friday.
What now? Go on Fridays.
Like I'll go on Friday, maybe Friday. The rest of the day,
that's
maybe Friday or Saturday.
So you go to the grocery store every day to check if they have good vegetables, and if they don't, you just walk out.
Whenever I go to Safeway and I'll go like maybe Friday or Saturday. The vegetables are all right, but if I go like on the weekday, the vegetables are just bad. I'm like, damn.
You ever think that's because that's when they restock?
But I'm just saying, you're supposed to always have fresh, good vegetables in supply.
Man.
As the consumer, you should always.
You went all the way left. Wait, you went all the way left, man. First we gotta fix the community. Now we talking
we need more support in our communities. We need the best of the best. We should be eating like kings because we are kings and queens at the end of the day.
You know what you should do, Aaron?
We should be eating like these rich white folks, man. I'm tired.
Okay, you want to be like the white man?
No, we should be
the white man credit.
The white man be eating the best of the best. We should be eating the best of the best too, because we're all human beings at the end of the day. We all should be treated equal.